Ladies and gentlemen, type a one in the chat if you've ever had a dream so big it scared you. Yeah, I know what that feels like, and it means you're on the right path. So today I want to speak to you about overcoming fear with tunnel vision. I want you to think about your goals and your dreams right now. You know it's possible to reach them, but you also are afraid it won't happen because of the obstacles in your way. Well, I can see you've made it this far because you're an overcomer. You have something truly special within you. The word of truth helps me to reframe my mind around fear. And it says, you've got to walk by faith and not by sight. You've got to keep your eyes toward the hills and not look to the left or the right. You've got to believe that you'll get there, and you've got to trust that it's already done. See, just like you, I'm also an overcomer. And that special something we share is called vision. We believe and then we see, and we walk this path unapologetically. See, I'm here because I refuse to be a victim. But 12 years ago, I was overwhelmed with life. I felt like I was drowning, like I was being swallowed up by the sea. I was determined to breastfeed my new baby, but also desperate to leave my unsupported corporate job. So I attempted to start a business while my baby was sleeping. Hello, somebody. Can you type bad idea in the chat? From pure exhaustion, I was hospitalized 4 times with severe postpartum depression and psychosis. And I was separated forcefully from my husband and firstborn son. Because of the voices I was hearing, I would cry out to my creator, yelling, Elohim! And in that mental hospital room, I would long for my son, yelling, Zion! Not knowing my mama bear strength, I broke a hospital door and even took down a man who was twice my size because he stood in the way of me getting home to my child. And so I was sedated. But I was sedated to the point that I woke up in a body bag. You heard right, a body bag. I remember slipping in and out of consciousness as they wheeled me out of my room and away from those beeping machines. We went down, down, down. And when we stopped, there was an eerie stillness. And again, I slipped away. From psychosis, I was already hearing voices in my head, but as I came to in that moment, these voices were different. They spoke to one another as I laid in that dark place. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but darkness, and I was so afraid. But then I began to see the bag unzip, and immediately I knew where I was, and I locked eyes with the hospital staff. But because of the medication, I couldn't yell or kick or scream. Close your eyes with me right now and imagine yourself in that bag. Have you ever been counted out or left for dead, but you were still alive? Type I'm still alive in the chat right now. See, I wondered if this was the end or if I would ever see my family again. But for those of you who have ever hit rock bottom, I want to share with you today how I got back up. I stayed focused on my vision, thinking positively. I must see my family again. I will hold my husband again. I can nurse my baby again. Everyone type this in the chat. Focus on your vision. See, the late, great Dr. Miles Monroe said that the cemetery is where we bury the greatest treasures of untapped potential. And George Bernard Shaw once said that the people who make it in this life are the people who get up and they look around for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they create them. Listen, the circumstances you want are in your vision. I want you to think about a time when you were down and what your life would look like if you stayed focused on rising up and out of that dark place. And as you think about this challenge, I want you to write this down. Type it in the chat. First thing is, don't settle. You know, I used to be a profitable portrait photographer, but I soon learned I wasn't in business to increase my income. No, I wanted to make an impact. What's it all really worth if we grind all our life to fill our bank account, but we neglect to fulfill our purpose? Another thing you want to write down is don't quit. I remember the first time that I got on stage, and I was on a roll, but then I got on stage and I literally crashed and burned. And I had to read the most devastating reviews about my performance. Being a speaker was my childhood dream, and I almost gave up. But write this down. Face fear with tunnel vision. See, I was focused on my failures, but as I surrendered and I yielded to the yearning within me to speak, I remembered Mr. Brown's words. He said, "You gotta be hungry." See, in this moment, I laid in a body bag of disbelief, distraction, and self-doubt. But I made a decision to get in position with my vision. At 5 a.m. every morning while my family slept, I was digging a tunnel through my fears with prayer, meditation, studying Mr. Brown's every move, rereading those reviews and rewriting my speech and practicing in front of empty seats in my living room. It was December 2019 when I proclaimed, "I'm going to work with Les Brown one day." Then April 2020 came and my new speech was a hit and it booked multiple keynotes. Then in December 2020, I joined Power Voice with a clear vision to win a spot at this summit to share my story with you. Listen, the Power Voice Academy made my dream a reality. You've got to stand up inside of yourself and say, "No, it's not over until I win." My coach Les Brown said, "If you fall on your back. But if you can look up, you can get up." My name is Vanessa Simmons, and that V is for vision. Don't you count yourself out. Just keep your eye on the prize. And yes, you too shall rise. Praise and honor to the Most High. Thank you.